Multiple sources have now confirmed that Shedeur Sanders stormed out of the Browns training facility yesterday afternoon. This happened right after head coach Kevin Stefanski made the stunning decision to bench him in favor of Dillon Gabriel. According to several team insiders, Sanders made it crystal clear to his teammates that he was completely done with Cleveland before he left the building. He refused to talk with any coaching staff members and ignored every attempt by the front office to patch things up. This situation has moved way beyond just another quarterback controversy. We're looking at a complete organizational breakdown that threatens to destroy everything the Browns have supposedly been building. For anyone who's been keeping track of this explosive situation since training camp started, you're now watching the exact meltdown that everyone saw coming but nobody managed to stop. Here's how the whole incident reportedly went down during the morning quarterback meetings. Stefanski apparently pulled Sanders aside privately to tell him that Gabriel would be getting the start against Baltimore. The coach cited concerns about performance, consistency, and how well Sanders was executing the system. Sources say Sanders just listened quietly, gave a single nod, and then walked out of the room without saying a single word. Just minutes later, all hell broke loose in the locker room. Sanders supposedly started gathering up all his personal stuff while veteran teammates tried desperately to talk him out of leaving. "Don't waste your breath," he reportedly told them. "I'm completely finished playing these ridiculous games." Security footage allegedly shows Sanders walking out of the facility at exactly 11:47 in the morning, and he hasn't been back since. Don't get confused about the timing here. This marks the second time this season that Stefanski has made the decision to bench Sanders. The first incident happened back in Week 3 following a brutal streak of primetime interceptions. Sanders managed to work his way back into the starting lineup by Week 5 and delivered an absolutely spectacular performance against Cincinnati, which seemed to lock down his position for good. Yet here we are again, dealing with the exact same drama. Sources are telling us that Stefanski never truly committed to Sanders despite enormous pressure from ownership, marketing demands, and passionate fanbase expectations. The coach reportedly sees Gabriel as his real quarterback, while Sanders remains nothing more than ownership's pet project. This kind of philosophical divide has created a completely unsustainable dynamic that finally exploded in spectacular fashion. Let's break down the immediate fallout because the consequences are spreading everywhere at once. First, the locker room dynamics have become absolutely vicious, with veterans reportedly split down the middle. The offensive weapons are predominantly backing Sanders, pointing to his incredible playmaking ability, natural leadership presence, and competitive fire. Meanwhile, the offensive linemen are supporting Stefanski's authority, emphasizing the importance of discipline, accountability, and organizational structure. The defensive players are trying to stay neutral while privately expressing complete exhaustion. With all the ongoing drama, one Pro Bowl defender supposedly told reporters off the record, "We're trying to win football games while management plays politics. It's absolutely impossible." Second, the fanbase has completely erupted. Social media turned into a digital battlefield within minutes of the news breaking. #FreeShedeur started trending nationally. #FireStefanski has been gaining serious momentum every hour. #Start12 became a rallying cry across the entire Browns faithful. Season ticket holders are threatening to cancel their subscriptions. Merchandise sales could potentially plummet overnight. One prominent Browns podcaster posted, "Stefanski just signed his own termination papers. You don't bench generational talent twice and expect to survive another." Influential voice claimed, "This franchise deserves every single disappointment that's coming their way. This is absolute incompetence." Here's where the complications become exponentially more intense. The ownership dynamics are getting messy. Jimmy Haslam was reportedly absolutely furious when he learned about Sanders' departure through social media instead of through proper organizational channels. Sources claim an emergency ownership meeting was called within hours, with Haslam demanding detailed explanations from Stefanski. General manager Andrew Berry is caught right in the middle, trying to support his coach's decision while managing his owner's rage. We're hearing that Haslam personally tried reaching out to Sanders, but his messages have gone completely unreturned. The owner is supposedly questioning whether Stefanski deliberately sabotaged the franchise's cornerstone player. This goes way beyond typical coaching decisions. According to insiders, Stefanski believes he's fighting for professional football integrity against the invasion of celebrity culture. He's reportedly completely exhausted from watching his carefully constructed team culture get eroded by external pressures, social media influence, and ownership interference. The benching represents a philosophical stance, system over stardom, consistency over highlight reels, discipline over marketability. These might be noble principles, but they could potentially end his career given the current circumstances. Meanwhile, Sanders' perspective absolutely deserves examination. He was a fifth-round selection who got immediately thrust into a starting position through ownership decree. He's performed admirably, considering the circumstances. He's posting a 67% completion percentage with 18 touchdowns and 11 interceptions through 8 games. Those aren't spectacular statistics, but they're definitely respectable for a rookie navigating such a dysfunctional situation. More importantly, his presence has completely energized the franchise. Jersey sales have exploded through the roof. Primetime games got scheduled. National attention focused on Cleveland positively for the first time in ages. He delivered absolutely everything except Stefanski's approval. Sources close to Sanders have revealed much deeper frustration. He reportedly felt constantly undermined. Every single mistake got magnified while every success got diminished. Practice repetitions were supposedly skewed toward Gabriel during evaluation periods. Play calling was allegedly conservative when Sanders started, but aggressive with Gabriel. Team meetings featured subtle criticisms directed toward certain players needing better preparation. Sanders interpreted these signals crystal clear. The coaching staff never actually wanted him, they merely tolerated ownership's mandate. The timing couldn't possibly be worse. The Browns are sitting in 5th place with a playoff position within reach. The schedule is softening up considerably. Division rival Baltimore is visiting this Sunday. A national television audience will be watching. Playoff implications are significant. Now there's complete chaos. The starting quarterback situation is uncertain. The locker room is fractured. Ownership is furious. The coaching staff remains defiant. The media circus keeps intensifying. This represents an organizational nightmare scenario unfolding in front of everyone. Don't overlook the financial implications either. Sanders' marketability transcends typical quarterback value. His social media following absolutely dwarfs the entire Browns roster combined. Documentary crews follow his journey everywhere. Endorsement opportunities multiply every single week. Merchandise bearing his number outsells the next 5 players combined. Local businesses report increased traffic during home games, specifically attributed to Sanders' presence. One downtown restaurant owner stated, "He completely saved our season. People come specifically to watch him play." Economics definitely matter, especially for a franchise that's historically struggled with relevance. The national perception shifts dramatically to ESPN. Analysts are already dissecting this situation relentlessly. Career suicide, one prominent voice declared regarding Stefanski's decision. You don't bench marketable young talent in today's NFL without serious consequences. Another, respected commentator suggested Stefanski is coaching like it's still 1995. The modern NFL requires understanding player empowerment, social media influence, and marketing realities. Former players are piling on similarly. "If I'm Shedeur, I'm gone," a Hall of Fame quarterback stated definitively. Why waste your prime years in complete dysfunction? Behind the scenes, Sanders' camp stays strategically silent publicly while actively exploring options privately. Sources indicate his agent is already fielding inquiries from multiple organizations monitoring the situation. Trade possibilities are being discussed hypothetically, contract implications examined carefully, and legal remedies considered if necessary. The message gets delivered clearly without words. Cleveland needs Sanders way more than Sanders needs Cleveland. Let's address the Gabriel factor because he's an unwilling participant in this drama. He's a third-round selection who's performed adequately when given opportunities. His completion percentage is higher than Sanders. His turnover ratio is superior. His system comprehension is more advanced, yet he's lacking Sanders' electricity, charisma, and marketability. He represents the safe choice, the competent option, the boring reality. Fans don't buy Gabriel jerseys. Networks don't feature Gabriel prominently. Social media doesn't explode for Gabriel touchdowns. He's everything Stefanski values and nothing ownership marketed. This power struggle extends way beyond the quarterback position toward fundamental organizational philosophy, old school versus new reality, traditional hierarchy against player empowerment, system discipline opposing individual expression. Stefanski embodies the former, Sanders represents the latter. Neither side is willing to compromise. Both are convinced they're correct. The organization gets caught between them, paralyzed by indecision and damaged by conflict. Here's what insiders whisper privately. Stefanski knows he's absolutely finished if Sanders doesn't return. Ownership won't tolerate losing their franchise cornerstone, especially given the marketing investment, fan base reaction, and financial implications. Yet Stefanski refuses to back down, viewing this as professional integrity. Apparently, he'd rather lose his job maintaining his principles than compromise his beliefs for survival. That might be admirable, but it's devastating for the organization. Barry's position is equally precarious. He drafted both quarterbacks, supported Stefanski publicly, and managed ownership privately. Now he's facing an impossible choice: support his coach and risk the owner's wrath, or undermine authority to preserve job security. Sources claim Barry is attempting to broker some compromise, proposing co-starter arrangements, alternating series, or specialized packages. Neither camp shows any interest. Sanders wants unconditional commitment. Stefanski demands organizational control. No middle ground exists. Veterans watching this situation deteriorate are expressing frustration openly. "We're trying to win games while this circus continues," a defensive captain reportedly stated. Another respected voice suggested, "Leadership means making hard decisions. Nobody's leading here. Everyone's just protecting themselves." Locker room confidence is evaporating. Team chemistry is dissolving. The competitive window is potentially closing before it ever opened fully. Don't ignore the divisional implications. Baltimore arrives Sunday expecting complete dysfunction. Pittsburgh is monitoring this situation gleefully. Cincinnati senses a golden opportunity. Every opponent recognizes Cleveland's vulnerability and comes prepared to exploit organizational chaos. Defensive coordinators are designing exotic pressures, knowing the quarterback situation remains completely unsettled. This gift arrives precisely when the Browns needed stability most. The media machinery operates relentlessly now. Every reporter chases new angles. Former players offer opinions. Talk shows dedicate entire segments. Podcasts analyze every detail. YouTube creators dissect body language. And Twitter debates rage endlessly. Cleveland transformed from playoff contender to reality show within hours. Such attention brings pressure, scrutiny, and criticism that multiplies exponentially. The juiciest detail emerged late yesterday. Sources claim several prominent veterans approached Haslam directly, bypassing traditional channels to express concerns about Stefanski's management. These aren't malcontents, but respected leaders, Pro Bowl performers, and team captains. Their message was reportedly crystal clear: resolve this situation immediately or risk losing the entire locker room. Haslam supposedly assured a resolution within 48 hours. The clock is ticking loudly. Potential resolutions seem extremely limited. Option 1. Stefanski apologizes publicly, reinstates Sanders unconditionally, and hopes the relationship is salvageable. This seems unlikely given the coach's personality, philosophical stance, and professional pride. Option 2. The organization backs Stefanski completely, trades Sanders, and accepts short-term pain for long-term stability. Haslam won't approve this given the financial investment. Option 3. Stefanski resigns, citing personal reasons. An interim coach gets installed, and Sanders returns triumphantly. This represents the most probable outcome for preserving everyone's dignity superficially. Consider Sanders' leverage here. He's young, talented, marketable, and social media savvy. Multiple teams would acquire him immediately. Imagine him in Atlanta, Las Vegas, or New York markets. His brand transcends Cleveland significantly. He doesn't need the Browns. They desperately need him. Every moment that passes strengthens his position and weakens the organization's stance. Stefanski supporters emphasize the importance of principles. Allowing a player to dictate terms establishes a dangerous precedent. Undermining coaching authority creates an unsustainable dynamic. Choosing marketability over meritocracy corrupts competitive integrity. These might be valid arguments, but they're irrelevant given current reality. The modern NFL operates differently than Stefanski's philosophical ideal. League executives observe this situation intensely, recognizing broader implications. Player empowerment is expanding, social media influence is growing, and traditional authority structures are evolving. Cleveland's situation represents a test case for industry transformation. How do organizations balance competing interests, coaching authority, ownership preferences, player power, fan engagement, media coverage, and financial realities? No simple solutions exist. Sources indicate Sanders spent yesterday training privately, maintaining physical conditioning while avoiding the team facility. His social media remains active, posting workout videos, cryptic messages, and motivational quotes. Each post generates thousands of interactions. Fans plead for his return. Critics defend Stefanski. Chaos continues digitally. He controls the narrative without speaking publicly. Meanwhile, Gabriel prepares for starting Sunday, understanding the situation's complexity. He didn't request this controversy, he merely competed when opportunities arose. Now he's facing a hostile crowd, divided locker room, and impossible expectations. If he performs poorly, Stefanski's decision appears catastrophic. If successful, Sanders supporters will claim conspiracy. It's a no-win scenario for a third-round pick pursuing NFL dreams. The practice facility atmosphere gets described as funeral-like today. Players go through motions mechanically. Coaches maintain professional facades while privately panicking. Support staff avoids eye contact. Media relations scrambles to control the narrative. Everyone recognizes the severity. Nobody possesses solutions. The organization remains paralyzed by this self-inflicted crisis. Former Browns executives expressed disbelief. Watching this situation unfold, this franchise finally assembled talent, generated excitement, and created hope. One stated anonymously, then imploded over personality conflicts. Classic Cleveland. Another suggested organizational alignment represents the championship foundation. Without it, talent becomes irrelevant. They've learned nothing from history. The critical question remains, can this relationship recover? Trust has shattered. Respect evaporated. Communication ceased. Sanders feels betrayed by an organization supposedly supporting him. Stefanski believes he's undermined by a player refusing accountability. Ownership feels frustrated by both parties prioritizing personal agendas over organizational success. Toxicity levels are approaching irreversible. If resolution doesn't materialize within 48 hours, Sanders will likely begin exploring options aggressively. His camp reportedly compiled potential landing spots already. Teams with established culture, supportive coaching, and market opportunities, places where talent gets maximized, brands grow, and success follows. Everything Cleveland promised but failed to deliver. For Stefanski, this might represent his final NFL opportunity. His reputation has been damaged significantly. Players question his leadership. Ownership loses confidence. Media portrays him negatively. Future employment prospects are diminishing. All for a principled stand that nobody appreciates and everyone criticizes. History won't remember this kindly. The Cleveland Browns stand at a crossroads. Choose Sanders, admit coaching mistakes, and sacrifice authority for stability. Choose Stefanski, lose your marketable star, accept fan revolt, and risk financial consequences. Choose neither, fire everyone and begin another rebuild, perpetuating the dysfunction cycle. No favorable outcomes exist. The damage already inflicted proves irreversible regardless. The Sanders situation transcends quarterback controversy toward organizational identity crisis. The modern NFL demands balancing competing interests delicately. Cleveland failed spectacularly and now faces consequences that could define franchise trajectory for years. Sunday's game approaches. Baltimore prepares. The national audience watches. Resolution remains uncertain. Chaos continues. As a veteran linebacker reportedly told teammates, "I've played 12 seasons across 6 teams through countless controversies, and I've never witnessed anything approaching this dysfunction. We're professionals trying to compete while management wages civil war. It's exhausting, embarrassing, and unacceptable." That summarizes Cleveland's current reality perfectly. A professional football organization transformed into a dysfunctional reality show. Talented roster wasted on personality conflicts. Playoff opportunity evaporating through self-sabotage. A city deserving success, receiving disappointment. Again, will Sanders return? Will Stefanski survive? Will the Browns recover? Questions multiply. Answers remain elusive. Only one certainty exists. Cleveland created controversy unnecessarily, managed it poorly, and suffers consequences predictably. The franchise requiring stability most desperately generates chaos consistently. Some things never change.